One thing I'm seeing more and more of in the news, politicians are talking about these tax credits. We have the child tax credit, the parent tax credit, the first-time buyers tax credit. And this is always popular. Tax credits are always popular. We saw stimulus checks. They were very popular last year. But now I don't think they're very popular anymore. Stimulus checks, the talk of stimulus checks is not as popular as it was last year. Because some people look at stimulus checks as free money. That's how they see it. It's free money. And so we need to get to a point where we start calling it what it is. Start calling it a tax credit. And I've talked about this in previous videos, but now it's more important than ever. Because now that we're starting to see the lack of popularity for stimulus checks, you need to start calling it a tax credit. Because we're looking right now at reoccurring payments. The child tax credit is going to be a reoccurring payment. The thing that people were asking for all last year when it came to stimulus checks, they're doing with this child tax credit. You're going to be receiving $300 or $250, depending on how old your child is, every month. And so if you had a situation like that, didn't call it a stimulus check, you called it a tax credit, let's say a tax credit for single individuals, because you have this child tax credit. Why don't you have a tax credit for single individuals, people on Social Security, or just single people in general? So when we're looking at the situation, you're calling it a tax credit, it's going to be popular. Because I don't care what side of the aisle that you're on, if you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, tax credits are what people want. They want tax credits and tax cuts. That's it. And so if you can provide that for them, they're going to be happy. And in a situation like this, stop saying stimulus checks. Start calling it a tax credit. Reoccurring tax credit. You just had Josh Hawley, who is a Republican congressman. He's talking about this parent tax credit. $1,000. $1,000 per month. Reoccurring payment. That's his proposal for parents with children under the age of 13. That's a tax credit. If you had a single, so it wasn't a parent tax credit, but a single tax credit or something like that for the rest of the individuals who do not have children and would not be able to benefit from that, that's something that needs to be talked about. That's the same thing as a stimulus check. And what's popular now is advancing it before you file your taxes instead of waiting for you to file your taxes and then receiving it then. And so that needs to be the argument. Stop saying stimulus checks and start saying tax credits, because that will go much further. And so we'll have to see how the politicians maneuver this and if they're going to start calling it a tax credit, because there should really be a push for a single individual tax credit or a retired tax credit or something like that. Because you have a population that's being left out of this talk of tax credits. So I realized when I was editing this video, I didn't talk about the earned income tax credit. So the earned income tax credit is for people who have children as well as people who do not have children. So if you're working, you can get that earned income tax credit at the end of the year. So for those single people utilizing the earned income tax credit, it would be nice if they could change it to like the child tax credit where they want to do it monthly. And so you could get $200 per month or $300 per month over a span of 6 months or over the span of the year. I think that would be much more beneficial to a lot of those people. Now, we also need to address people who are on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, veterans, people who are not filing their taxes every year. Those people need some type of a benefit as well. We've talked about the raise, the $200 raise for Social Security. Right now, politicians aren't talking about that anymore. So maybe have something temporary, like some pandemic tax credit, where that could be advanced to them as well, so they could receive that every month just for either the next 6 months or the next year. So there are a lot of things that need to happen, but I think the tax credits, that's the way to go, because the tax credits, everybody wants those. Everybody is focused on tax credits right now. And so if you add a few more tax credits, or at least add one more tax credit for the demographic, the Social Security, SSI, SSDI, add it for them, and then use that earned income tax credit where you're advancing that forward so you get monthly payments there. Now you have reoccurring payments for both people on Social Security as well as people who are working and receiving that earned income tax credit. And so, like I tell you guys always, in the description, you can call your congressperson. All that information is there. You can send them a tweet. You can check out their YouTube channel, because believe it or not, a lot of these politicians have YouTube channels. And you can comment. Just like you guys comment on my videos, you can comment on their videos as well. And they do post videos every once in a while. So make sure you let them know, especially if you fall in that category where you're not there, you're out of the talk when it comes to tax credits. You need to contact them and let them know, hey, I get it. Children cost money and a tax credit for them is great, but prices of things are going up. For me, I'm single. I don't have any dependents, and I need some type of a tax credit as well. So let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.